your English live class. Today we are going to continue the topic which we started in the last class. It is all about verbs. Okay. Today I was trying to set the OBS for you so that you could see the presentation and teach you, but it was not working successfully. So I will be teaching you with the help of Blackboard, and next class I hope I will be able to teach you through the presentations, which will be more live and interesting for you. Okay. So students, before we discuss about verb and its other details, this year you are going to learn about the tenses, present, past and future. So before we discuss about that, let's see what are verbs. Those who know what are verbs, those who can describe it in one word, type it. Verbs, present, past is our topic. So I asked you a question. What do you mean by verb? If you know it, you can write in one word or two words. Just write. Yes, action words are called the verbs. So the verb shows the action done by someone or something, right? For example, I am teaching you. He looks at me. Looks, teaching, is teaching, okay? And he played football with me. Played. She jumps always, or she jumps high. So jumps. So these words, look, jumps, is teaching, played, all these are different forms of verb which is telling us the action which is done by someone or something. It may be a person, it may not be a person, right? So we call the verbs or the words which is showing the action of someone or something as verb. And verbs happen or take place at different times. So children, when we are studying about tenses, many a time students know the word tenses, but they don't know what is the meaning of tenses. So this year you are going to study about tenses. I told you, you are going to learn in this lesson present, past tense, and later in the next lesson we will be learning about future tense also. So let me tell you what is the meaning of tense. You know, when we are doing the actions, we do it at different times. Some of the actions we do today. Some of the actions we do yesterday or last month, last week, last year. Okay. And some of the actions I did already today. आज मैंने already कर लिया, आज ही किया तो भी वो कर लिया. Some of the actions I am doing today only, but it is going on. For example, I am teaching you. I started teaching and it's going on. It will be ending at 1 o'clock only. It's going on, right? And some of the actions I will do tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, or next week, next month, next year. But I have already planned it. Okay, so that is the meaning of we are doing the actions at different times. For example, yesterday, some of the actions are done because yesterday or yesterday or day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, that means Monday, we studied about, that means on 21 December 2020, we studied about similes in English class. It's already over, right? So today you are studying about tenses. Okay. Now Saturday we will be studying more about tenses. Now, have you noticed what did I say? On 21 December 2020, we studied ed form of the verb I have used. Why? Because that is an action which I did in the past. So, if we want to speak about any actions or verbs which took place in the past, we will say we are using past tense. And now today I did some of the actions and now I am teaching you. So whatever the things I am doing currently, right now, today, those are called a present tense. And children, if I am going to do something tomorrow, I am going to Nagpur tomorrow, or I will be going to Mumbai next month. So if I am going to do some actions tomorrow, day after tomorrow, like that, in future, bhavishya, so it is called a future tense. So tense means it is the form of verbs which is showing us the time in which it took place or it is happening or it will happen. For example, the actions which we do in the past are represented by past tense and the actions which we are doing on current time are called present tense and the actions which we are going to do in future are called future tense. I hope you got the idea of what is the meaning of tense. Tense means the different forms of verb to show the time in which the action has taken place. Okay? कल की एक्शन के बारे हम आज कैसे बोलते हैं वैसा नहीं बोल सकता, right? There is some difference, right? So the time of the action can be understood with the help of various tenses. And how do we understand the type of the actions? It is by observing or using the different forms of verbs. We call it root form, base form of the verb, second form of the verb, third form of the verb, present participle, past participle, like that, right? So we use different forms of the verbs in different tenses to show the type of the action which is called tenses. Okay? तो आपको समझ में आया होगा tenses क्या है? Okay? Tense means tense means various forms of verbs which is showing different type of the action like past, present and future. Okay. So in this lesson, you are basically going to learn about present and past tense only. So now I will be giving you an introduction of simple present tense. I'll be giving an introduction to simple present tense. Before we enter into simple present tense, I will just remind what we have learned in the last class, that means last year in third standard. In third standard, we understood or we learned that every verb has a base form. Base form means the root form of the verb without having a special ending. Base form of the. Okay. So. Yes. Okay. Okay, children. Thank you for your response. So, every verb has a base form. That means it has no ing at the end of it, no ed, and no s or no es. Simply the verb. For example, like, eat, see, talk, etc. Simply the base form, the root form of the verb. This is called the base form of the verb. There is no special ending. No D, no ED, no S, no ES, no ING. Okay. So these are called the root form of the verb. And we are adding S, ES, D, ED or ING or change the total verb into a new spelling to represent the tenses. Okay. Now, for example, simple present tense. When we learn about simple present tense, we must understand the subjects in detail. Okay. Simple present tense is one of the tense which is very confusing for the children. Why? Because they just learn the grammar rule, but they don't understand the connection between the verb and the subject. What is the subject? You all have learned it in the lower classes. Again, I will revise it. Subject means the doer of the action. In a sentence, the person or the thing who is doing the action is called a subject. Right? And what action is done, that is called a verb. Right? So here, I tell you, he writes his notes, or he writes EVS notes. He writes EVS notes. I write EVS notes. We write EVS notes. Now you see, there is difference in the verbs, right? When I use he writes, and here I write, we write. Why? Why? Because in simple present tense, there is a grammar rule. Okay. You know, in school we have to follow rules, and in different places we have to follow rules. Like that, in grammar also we have to follow certain rules. So here, the rule of simple present tense is that if the subject is she, it, he, or any other singular verbs. Any other singular noun. For example, Ajay, a cat, etc. are singular, right? So, the first rule which you should remember is, if the subject is she, it, he, or any other singular noun, then with that singular noun, we should use S or ES form of the verb. I hope you understood. So, this particular subjects you should remember. This is called third person singular. This is called a third person singular. I know that it may be difficult for you to understand third person singular. So you just remember that if we are using he, she, it, or any singular noun like such as Ajay, Yumika, Prakesh, or Navya, a cat, a monkey, a man, like that, then with that we have to use in simple present tense S or ES form of the verb. I hope you understood this particular thing. And with this, we will be ending today's class. You remember this grammar only and read the grammar lesson 22, and we will meet in the next class. Till then, it's a bye from me. Be safe and take care.